Greetings! I want to teach you the greatest Stevie Ray Vaughan riff ever invented. Well, it's actually hard to say that Stevie Ray Vaughan ever invented anything because he borrowed so much from other people, and that applies to this riff that I'm going to teach you. But I do think it is a very signature SRV riff. It's borrowed a little bit from Albert King, but Stevie kind of put his own touch on this. You can hear this riff at the beginning of the Texas Flood solo, and you can hear that's actually in G, and I'm going to demonstrate the riff in A today. But again, you can move this up and down the neck. Stevie delivered variations on this riff many times in his performances and on a couple of other of the slow blues tracks, but it's kind of a slow blues riff. And you will recognize it. If you've ever heard Stevie Ray Vaughan, you will recognize this riff right off the bat. So here it goes. The greatest Stevie Ray Vaughan riff ever invented, borrowed heavily from Albert King, a little bit from Hendrix, but with a Stevie Ray Vaughan flavor that demonstrates a couple of things that he did that you can try to emulate to get the sounds, those unique sounds that he was able to pull out of a Stratocaster. Well, a couple of these things will be helpful for you in a number of different areas and as you learn how to solo. But here's the riff. It's classic blues, but it's also classic Stevie. That's the riff. That is the one that actually begins his Texas Flood solo, and it's a great one. And so let's get into just how he does it. Let's perform it one more time. So the key part to this is going to be the use of some fingers, but let's just go through the riff as it happens. To begin with, again, we're going to be up in the key of A, in the second position of the A minor pentatonic, and with your ring finger, you're going to want to go to the B string and press on the 10th fret. Now, this obviously is a really big Stevie Ray Vaughan note. I mean, it's the root note of an A blues. It's also, of course, kind of a B.B. King, although B.B. King would often play with his first finger up here. So, but here we're going to play it with our ring finger. Mute the strings with your heel of your, I'm left-handed, so your picking hand, mute the strings with the heel of your hand over here, the other strings, so you get, you're not hearing those strings, but also do this little sweep down. Now, I bring my thumb around to the back of the neck to really get that shaking vibrato. You have to shake the note in this initial articulation of it. You have to get the tremolo on it, vibrato. Now, see how different it sounds if you don't do any vibrato. That's just nothing. That's just a note. Anybody could do that. In a way, a 5-year-old could learn how to do that, but this is something different. And then, so you do that twice. So the key here, and you'll know this you'll know this basic sort of riff in a way if you're familiar with the pentatonics, but you do the two notes, and then you go up to the E string, and you push the E string up a whole step to E. And you can do the sweep again with the pick. So those are the initial notes, and then here is the critical part. You need to get the pop for this. You can't play it like this. You need to get the pop, and to get the pop, you need to take your middle finger of your picking hand and pop it. and then come back down to this A note with your ring finger with the pick. Now, Stevie would do this popping sound. You hear people do this riff all the time like this. And that sounds okay, but Stevie would pop the E string. Ready? You can hear the difference. And Stevie would do this a lot. So that is one key part of this riff, and that you can take that into other areas when you're doing other blues riffs and use that principle and pop the E string. But here it is. So that's the initial riff. And then the rest of it is kind of a familiar pentatonic riff. It is. So it's with a fair amount of tremolo and vibrato on that. So, and then you go down with your ring finger to this one. Sometimes he would do this kind of thing. You could do that too, which is a pull-off thing. But on the Texas Flood, I'm pretty sure, and this is the original way that the riff is done, you don't do the pull-off, you just go. So it's... That's it. That's the greatest Stevie Ray Vaughan riff, one of the greatest blues riffs ever. Of course, the Texas Flood solo goes on, and there's a lot more to that, but this is the basic. Remember that popping. And you could even you can use it to get a nice crisp popping tone out of a lot of bends on the E string, see? That's the key to the SRV sound. That's it. Subscribe to the channel to get a lot more classic blues riffs and rock riffs. We're going to go over the best stuff, and we're going to give you the nuanced way to do it so that you can really capture the tone. Here, it's the popping with the picking finger, middle finger, popping it and coming back down to the root note after the pop. That's what differentiated Stevie from all of his imitators, and many people who try to play like Stevie today, they don't do the finger pop. So check that out, give it a try, leave questions in the comments, and I will be back at you very soon. Bye-bye.